Hello and welcome to our Betfred Sports Talk here at the Quest Media Network studios. I'm Lewis and I'm joined by Peter Spence from Betfred. How are you doing today, Peter?
Yeah, great, thanks very much.
Well, we'll start with the transfer window. It's now open. There's a lot happening already with players moving. Which players do you think are most likely to move?
Well, this isn't good news for Manchester City fans, but we do think that Bernardo Silva is going to PSG. He's 5-4 with Betfred to do so. And also, if he doesn't go there, the second favourite destination for him at the end of the transfer window is Barcelona, which is priced at 6-1. I've got to stress, these are changing every hour, these odds. And also, Gundogan, who's done tremendously well now, he's captain. It's clear that Guardiola won't extend his contract beyond a year. So he probably thinks he's getting on a bit, which is a bit sad really. But anyway, Gundogan is 2-5 with Betfred that he'll be going to Barcelona. And a little bit of hope there is that to stay at City 7-4 at the end of this transfer window. Turning to Manchester United, well, Harry Kane, he's 5-6 to be staying at Tottenham. 7-4 to be joining Real Madrid. Manchester United are still priced at 4-1. And the other Harry Maguire that is, he's 5-4 to be staying at Manchester United, and 3-1 to be going to Spurs. So there could be some kind of Harry swap there, with Kane coming to Old Trafford and Maguire ending up at Spurs. Another player out of favour at United, Scott McTominay, he's 3-1 to be joining Newcastle, and Betfred have him at 4-1 to be going to Everton. Mason Mount, who has been a long-term target for Manchester United, the Chelsea midfielder of course, he's 1-5 now to be joining United, 10-3 to be staying at Chelsea. That looks like a done deal, as does Declan Rice to Arsenal, although they're arguing about the price now. He's 1-5 to be joining Arsenal and 8-1 to be joining United. Zaha, he's 4-6, so odds on to be joining PSG. And James Maddison, well, he's 4-9 at the moment to be going to Newcastle United, but I do know that odds will be changing because Tottenham have actually put a bid in now, but at the moment it's 9-2 that he'll be going to Tottenham Hotspur. The big one, of course, is Kylian Mbappe. He's 8-11 to be going to Real Madrid. Similar to what's going on at Tottenham there. There's PSG owners are saying he's not going anywhere, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, Real Madrid, 8-11 with Betfred, that's his new destination. And great for United fans, he's 8-1 second favourite, Mbappe, to be going to Old Trafford.
What a signing that would be.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Mason Mount there. Do you think he'd be a good signing for United? They've put a bid in already at 40 million. That's been knocked back immediately by Chelsea. They want a bit more, but
yeah, that looks like he'd be going over the line-up, just doing the sabre rattling that goes on. I think that Mason Mount is a step up from McTominay, and they must have seen something in the way he plays that he'll link up well with Fernandes. So I do think he's a good signing. He's kind of solid and he does get a few goals. So that's just what United need, goals from midfield.
Definitely. We'll move on to the Betfred Challenge Cup this weekend. We've got some exciting ties coming up. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, well, it's the quarter-final stage. We've got Hull KR against Salford, Hull against Saints, Wigan hosting Warrington, and then we've got the David and Goliath battle between York from the Championship and Lee. We think it'll be Hull KR, Saints, Warrington, and Lee who'll make up the semi-finals, and the outright prices are to win the trophy in August at Wembley is St Helens. Betfred have them favourites 2-1, Wigan 7-2, Warrington 9-2, and then we've got Lee 5-1, making up the fifth Great Manchester team is Salford. They're 10-1. Lee being the dark horses of both the Betfred Super League and also the Challenge Cup. What season they're having, 5-1.
And the Ashes is back as well. That starts today. What are the odds looking like for that?
Well, before the first ball is being bowled, we have Australia 10-11 to go win the series outright. England Betfred have them at 6 to 4. And we've got a lot of Australians who no doubt live in this country or abroad. They're backing Australia to whitewashers 5-0, which is 18 to 1. 3-0, which is a much more realistic sort of scoreline if you consider the number of draws that are potentially going to be forced on us because of the weather. But you never know. I mean, it's fantastic at the moment, the weather. So Australia winning 3-0 is 33 to 1. That is the most popular bet in this country at the moment with Betfred. England 3-0 is 40 to 1. 5-0 for England is 33 to 1. For the top batsman, well, Smith, Australian, of course, is 5 to 2 to be the top batsman. Joe Root, how he's evolved his game, having been captain previously, and a much more cautious captain than Ben Stokes. Anyway, he's 3 to 1 to be the top batsman. Harry Brook, he's 9 to 1. Ali 25 to 1. Bairstow 20 to 1. And the captain, courageous himself, Ben Stokes, he's 18 to 1 to end up being the top batsman of the whole series.
And we've got quite a nice story to end on. We've got a man from Scotland who's won £90,000. Can you tell us a bit more?
Yeah,
about
this
that?
is a hard-working 62-year-old who retired from his job with the council, gardener up there, and he's set up, he's working part-time, delivering prescriptions to old folk in his hometown. He's won £90,000 from Betfred. He had 2 bets, one 50p and one 5p, both on the 49's numbers game, and he picked numbers based around family birthdays. So he picked 5 numbers, and they came in, and he's won £90,000. He described himself as just like them on Gogglebox, the TV show, obviously a telly addict. And he's one of the first things he's buying quite predictably is a brand new huge television, as he puts it. He said he doesn't bet on horses because he couldn't, or he says, I can't pick my nose when it comes to racing, to horse racing. That's the phrase he used. Anyway, he's going to spend his money on his family. They're going to go on holiday to the Canaries, and he's going to put it towards his pension pot.
Well, good luck to him. I hope he enjoys his break. And thank you, Peter, as always, for joining us. If you do fancy a bet and fancy a chance of winning, like our great man there from Scotland, you can bet online on the app or in Betfred stores.